Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Sheffield United Way match preview. And in today's match preview, you will get Sheffield United and Cardiff City team news ahead of tomorrow's 12:30 kickoff at beautiful downtown Bramall Lane, as well as last time out, player connections, and wait until the end for our score predictions. However, if you are a really, really good Sheffield United Way fan, viewer, whatever you want to call it, you will already know that because it's me and Ollie tonight. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not bad, thanks, Nick. I think I'm probably the same as everybody else, saying I am very, very glad it's Friday. I'm absolutely knackered, but yes, in a good mood. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate. Really, really good at the moment. However, I've been doing all the graphics for all the kind of match pack that we've got. So all the videos, all the thumbnails and stuff. And I keep thinking that we're playing Reading for some reason. I think it's just the blue that's confusing me. So the amount of times I've grabbed the Reading badge, put it on a thumbnail and been like, we're not playing Reading, are we? So if I say Reading at any point tonight, just say, Nick, stop being an idiot.
That's fine. I mean, can I say that anyway? Is that just a generic position that I can have?
Anybody can say that to me at any point.
Brilliant. I like this
done
new
something
rule.
stupid. New rule. Before we get into it, I want to give a bit of a shout out to two fantastic gentlemen that gave me this fantastic Bramall Lane S2 sign. They do them. Oh, wait a second. If I put that up like that, I get a lovely little darker sort of shade. Nice, I like it. I might just hold it like this all the way through. But by the way, these are done by, yes, a gentleman and his son. I think his son does them more. I think it's his little business on Etsy. So I will leave a link to them. They are very, very heavy, by the way. So whacking people over the head, don't do that. But these are absolutely fantastic. And it's going to go right up there, as long as you can see it on that little shelf there. So I will put it up there, not right now, because you'll see my pajamas that I've got on at the moment. So what we'll do is we'll pop it down here so you can still see it a little bit, but I will leave a link to their Etsy in the comments after this live video. So yeah, it's fantastic. It's very heavy duty as well, so you can pop it outside. You can put it wherever you want. Just don't put it on a really flimsy shelf like maybe that one is.
Yeah, that sounds like a risk, but I got already the backstage show of you walking around in your pajamas trying to figure out where to put that and how to make sure it looks. But it does look absolutely quality. So yeah, if you're sharing the link for anyone, can you also share it with me? I'll probably pick it up from the video.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So yeah, it'll be in the comments or in the description as well. They also do lots of other teams as well. They've not told me they gave me that out of the goodness of their heart and did not ask for anything else. But as I always do, I want to give them a massive shout out, and I will leave the link in the description. They actually said that 3 or 4 times. You don't have to do this. You don't have to give us a shout out, but I wanted to anyway. So, shall we move on to actually do the video?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, it's this first section that we've just not been wanting to do, have we? We don't really want to do last game.
No, we don't. And do you know what? I'm going to motor through it, mate. Motor through it. By the way, all the sponsors are down there as well, if you want to check out all the sponsors. Let's motor through it. I don't think it's one that we really care about too much. I don't think it's anything that we learned about United other than Jackie Robinson had another one in his locker, and Wes, really, you can't just blame Jackie Robinson.
No,
Wes shouldn't have come out in the first place. So it's funny how the different people that I speak to blame different. I didn't want to put any blame on anyone, but I had a different mindset about that, what happened in that than other people. So it's funny how some people blame Wes, some people blame Jack Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. You know, Wes has come out and he's called for it, so you completely understand why it's, you know, why people are going to go out there and why they're going to blame Wes. He didn't need to do that. Completely unnecessary, and accept 100% his part of the blame for that. But if you're a defender, you just, if in doubt, kick it out is one of the first things you learn. Like, you just get rid of that ball. You don't stutter. You don't wait. You kick it out, and then you yell at Wes and tell him, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Get back in your net. But it's probably very fairly to share the blame equally between them for my money.
Yeah. I went 70% Jack Robinson, 30% Wes. And Wes shouldn't have come out in the first place. No way. But that goes in Rose Ed. Like, I played in defence a lot when I was younger. There's no way that if a keeper had come out, I'm kicking him. I'm
Yeah.
kicking him in the ball into the stand. Like, and I do think that if that were George or John Egan or Anel, it would have probably gone into the stand. So it's just Jack Robinson is a little bit shaky at times, but he's been fantastic for such a long time. So let's give him one. It was only Burnley. Let's be honest. We probably wouldn't have beat him anyway, even though we did start the game well. So let's just chalk it off to a bit of a silly thing that happened. We are going to miss Wes for the next 2 games. However, hopefully Adam Davis won't have too many things to do in the next 2 games. But we'll get on to talking about that anyway. So do you want to talk about last time out?
Yes, I will. And I'll be honest with you, it's almost a year to the day. It's the 23rd of April, 2022. Sheffield United beat Cardiff at Bramall Lane 1-0. And I'm going to be honest with you, I had to sit through the highlights of this game earlier today, and it was an absolute shocker. It was dull, boring. One of the highlights was legitimately an overhit cross that went out for a throw-in. That made the 3-minute highlight package. It looked like an absolute stinker. But what did happen? So in the first half, there was potentially one chance for either side, both comfortable saves by either goalkeeper. And we went in at halftime 0-0. Came out for the second half, and United started brilliantly and took the lead just 2 minutes after coming back from halftime. Morgan Gibbs-White just beating a man and floating in an absolutely lovely cross into the centre of the box. And Illiman and Jai with a fantastic, powerful header. Lovely, 1-0. And then, to be honest, nothing else happened. It continued to be a rubbish game. That happened for 90 minutes. And then right at the death, United nearly made it 2-0. A great break, once again led by Gibbs-White, put in Sanderberger, who passed it against the post. It would have been a lovely goal, but to be honest, it finished 1-0. And everybody watching, everybody sat in this video was much better off having already forgotten about this game. It was not good.
Do you know what? You're going to like what I'm about to say now, actually. Last season, that was the only game that I missed. I had COVID and I missed that one. And I was thinking, can I get away with just going to the match and people not knowing? But I'm not that guy. I would never have done that. And it was special. It were like the second day into it, and I'm like, no, this isn't something that I can do. But it wasn't, like you say, it wasn't one for the neutral. So it's a good job that was the one that I missed. The reason why I was laughing whilst you was talking wasn't anything to do with you, but I was saying earlier about Wes and Jack Robinson both being at fault and other people. We had one there that said Robinson should have got rid of it, and then Wes shouldn't have come out. So it just shows that everybody's got different opinions on that one. Anyway, let's not talk about that anymore. Let's move on to talking about team news and the predicted lineup. Now, that is my section. All I really do is just listen to what Hecky said and then relay it back to you guys. So if you haven't heard it already, it's a 10-minute video about Hecky getting annoyed about, I think it's Andy Giddens asking him about the takeover. And him like, I'm just a football manager. This is not my job. Blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, I could see Hecky getting more and more annoyed as the questions kept flowing. But yeah, all he really said about the team news was the fact that Max Lowe is back in training. So we're expecting him to be back in the matchday squad, if not starting. Not sure how close he is to kind of being risked for this game, if you like, because if he's been ill and he's missed a couple of games, I don't know. I don't know whether he's going to be maybe not risk because he might not have that much in the tank if he's not been very well. So I'll quickly pop it up on screen. This is what I've kind of gone for, but I will understand if Lowe is in there. I'd rather have Lowe at left wing back and Baldock at right wing back. I've gone with Robinson, even though at some points this season, when Robinson's made mistakes, I've put Kieran Clark in there. But Robinson, I don't think has had 2 bad games in a row for us. So I think he will bounce back. Obviously, Adam Davis is another one that's going to be changing in there because of Wes's red card. Wes is out for 2 games, the next 2, this one and the Bristol City game. That is 1 for it not being violent conduct red card and 1 because he's already been sent off this season. Also, I've gone for McAtee back in there. Ollie Norwood didn't have his greatest game against Burnley, so I'm expecting to see McAtee come straight back in. I've seen some people putting Sharp in there instead of McBurney. I don't know whether that's because they've got insider info, but I certainly would go McBurney instead. So that is my team. Let us know in the comments what you would go for. Ollie, what do you think?
Yeah, not bad. I agree with the changes in midfield. I think we've got to go back Nor without McAtee in. I think that's fairly straightforward. I really, really want Max Lowe back in. If he's fit, if he's available, I really, really, really want Max Lowe to come back in. I think Bogle just does not look himself. Don't know if he's not match fit again after his injury. Don't know if there's anything else going on there, but he just looks a shadow of the player that he's been before. I really want to get Baldock back on his right side. Max Lowe in at left wing back. Agree that Jackie Longthrow should keep his spot.
Jackie Wrongthrow.
Jackie Wrongthrow, apparently. Jesus. Same last week. I just couldn't speak, and now I can't speak again. Yeah, I think Jack Robinson deserves to keep his spot. Up front is an interesting one. I would start McBurney, but I think there's been lots of suggestions that it being against Cardiff is going to be right up for it. But is that rightly or wrongly is part of the question I think that people have been asking. I'd start with McBurney.
Yeah. Someone going Robinson at left wing back and Clark at left centre back.
I don't mind that. I did consider this myself. I think Bogle, as I say, has been really off it. And I think his play generally, we know that defensively he's not the strongest, but he's not been impacting going forwards at all. He can't beat his man. He's not doing well at getting into the box. It's not really creating chances. So I'm not against the idea of Clark left centre back, Robinson left wing back. It still gives us the main outlet that Robinson's got with his long throw. We've seen he can sometimes get forward and overlap to get down those wings. I'm not necessarily against it.
It adds that solidity as well, doesn't it? If you've got two, and that's another big bloke in the box to win headers defensively and attacking as well.
That's going to be key. Going to be key in this one. It's actually quite a nice segue into doing the opposition team news, Nick. That worked really well because one of the other things that Hecky said in his interview yesterday, whenever it was, one of the things that Heckingbottom said is that these are a very direct team. It's a different Cardiff team to the one we played earlier this season. They're now going to be pumping long balls forward. They're going to be trying to get down the wings and get crosses in the box. So the additional height of Kieran Clark is not necessarily a bad idea. We have been caught out in these kind of games before. Not for a few years, I don't think. But obviously, when we were in the Premier League, we used to get turned quite a lot with the long ball. It'd go over Egan's head and the other teams would be in behind. So we really need to watch out for that. But in terms of Cardiff, they are reporting that they're pretty much fully fit. They've had some long-term injuries that are now back in training. We've seen Ebu Adams come back. Callum O'Dowda is back. The only potential question mark seems to be on Ruben Colwill, who's just been struggling with a hip injury. It could rule him out, but I think he will be involved in some capacity, most likely from the bench. So I think their starting 11 is going to be 3-5-2, and it's going to look something like Ryan Alsop in net, a back three of Perry Ng or Ng or Nugger or whatever you want to say to pronounce it. I think it's Ng. There'll then be Cedric Kipre and former Wednesday loanee Mark McGuinness. He was recalled in January. And I remember Wednesday fans being quite bitter about that. I think he's a player. Midfield's going to have Marlon Romeo on the right, Ryan Wintle, Joe Rawls and Romain Sawyers in the middle. And then Jaden Philogene Bidace on the left. And if they don't make some kind of chant about Philogene is not my lover, I'm going to be absolutely fuming. It's the only thing that I've got any vested interest in Cardiff's entire season. I want Philogene is not my lover from their away end. Let's see if they make it happen. Then the front two, there's going to be another former Wednesday man in Connor Wickham, and he'll be playing alongside Sorry Cabba. Now, there's not, I don't know. What do you think, Nick? Are you?
I just love the fact that Cabba's called his first name Sorry. Yes, sorry. No, I love that. I absolutely love that. Perry and G. We had this discussion, me and Mark Webster from Tufty Club, and he's saying it should be Ng, and actually, I think it should be Ng, but everybody says Perry and G, and I'm fine with that. I'm absolutely fine with that. Even the Cardiff fans say Perry Ng as well. If there's any Cardiff fans in the chat, let us know, or in the comments, let us know how you say it. So yeah, I don't know a lot about the Cardiff team, to be perfectly honest. We'll talk about some players that have played for both in a little bit, but before, let's move on to the referee. Now, I'll do the referee for a change, Ollie, because you normally do it. Oh wait, yeah. You need to do the Nick part though. We had this discussion off air the other day.
Yeah, we did.
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yeah,
The
I'm ready. I'm ready.
referee for the Sheffield United versus Cardiff City match on Saturday is David Webb.
Oh,
Felt like you could have done that better. Anyway,
oh.
David Webb is from County Durham. He's taken charge of 33 games this season, giving 103 yellows, 8 reds, and 7 penalties. That all sounds like a lot. The last time he was at Bramall Lane was Sheffield United versus Blackpool. He sent off 4 players and there were 6 goals scored. He previously refed our 1-1 draw away at Luton and our 1-0 defeat at West Bromwich Albion in the League Cup. So we haven't won a game under. We haven't won a game whilst he's been refereeing Sheffield United this season. And that Blackpool game was absolutely mental earlier in the season.
Yeah, that Blackpool game was absolutely insane. But of course, we do have to bear in mind he sent off 2 Blackpool players, gave us a 94th minute penalty. So, it wasn't all bad necessarily from our perspective, albeit that he did then, of course, send off Wes after full time.
To be fair, I agreed with every sending off. The 2 on the field, and then Wes, I don't know what he was doing, to be fair. Probably, actually, the Blackpool player, I'm not sure he deserved it when he just got floored. But, yeah, I think the red cards on the pitch, they were definitely right. Definitely. Yeah. And we should have had that game sewn up so many times, but it wasn't to be. Anyway, we're not talking about Blackpool. We are talking about the Blades versus Cardiff City. If you've noticed, I haven't said Reading yet, which is pretty good.
It's been impressed.
Thank you. I've got the team right. Next up, let's talk about score predictions. Now, if you've... there we go. I expected that needed to come out at some point. Score predictions. We we did the video yesterday. It was game week 42. And I'll pop up on screen right now what we went for. There we go. If you want to go and watch this back, make sure you do straight after this. It was the video that we did live yesterday. I've gone for a 2-0. Ollie's gone for a 3-2. Why have you gone for a 3-2, Ollie?
Yeah, it's a really difficult one. I thought that United needed to bounce back because they'll really want to get this win on the board, really put pressure on Luton, who obviously are a 3:00 kickoff. So United play first and we can really put pressure on them. But I still just expect an element of chaos in this game. I don't know if it's because Adam Davies is coming in net, if it's just because sometimes we've got defensive mistakes in us. But I think this one could just be a little bit frantic at both ends. But I think United have got enough quality to get them over the line. And I think we've probably got more goals in the squad.
Yeah.
Let's hope that we win. I don't really care what the score ends up as long as we get 3 points.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, mate. I would be happy to go with your score if that means that we win this game and we go on to the next one. Do you know what I didn't realise until earlier on? That we've got 4 home games in a row. 4 home games in a row to win promotion, because if we win all those 4 games, we've won promotion. So Luton are praying that we mess up. That's it. And that must give the players some confidence going into these games, especially if we beat Cardiff. Beat Cardiff tomorrow, early kickoff. Luton don't get a result against Rotherham, I believe it is. That will be kind of set point, I would say.
I agree. I think Luton, realistically, have got to win every game. I don't think they can afford to drop any more points. United need, like you say, this run of 4 home games in a row. We just need to win our home games and we're up. Like, that doesn't feel like it's loads to ask. Now, if I'm being honest, it seems unlikely we will win all 4 because that's just how football is. But put ourselves in a fantastic position by winning the most winnable games. Teams like Cardiff, Bristol midweek, we need to be making sure that we are putting momentum together and that we're applying pressure to Luton, because as soon as we mess up, especially this weekend, if we mess up and play first, that gives them all the momentum and such a boost going into their game at Rotherham. So just need to make sure we keep ticking over, pick up 3 points, just keep that pressure applied, and we're almost there.
Bob's your uncle. Yeah. I feel like it's completely in our hands. It'd be in our hands even if we got kind of 3 away games, 3 home games, and then they were all in between. But right now, 4 home games in a row. We're not even talking about our game in hand, which would be the Huddersfield game after that.
And
So
no, West Brom. West Brom's our game in hand
is
next
it?
midweek. And then we'll have
Oh right,
another
okay.
game in hand against Huddersfield. Because we'll have, from next Saturday, we'll
Ah,
technically have 2 games in hand at that point.
mental. But it don't matter as long as you win that. We win that Saturday game, win that Tuesday game. That's all the pressure on Luton. That's it. Exactly. That's all we need to do now. So anyway, last section. Let's talk about player connections. So do you want to give me a couple?
Yeah, who am I thinking? Callum Robinson, obviously a
Yeah,
most
playing.
recent one. We've got Gary Medine, who the
Yeah.
goal machine when he came to United. What about you? Have you got any others?
Yeah, well, we've got a manager connection in Neil Warnock,
Ah,
which is always great to see. One of my
every week.
favourite Sheffield United players at the time, John Brayford. Also interviewed him on this channel. So if you want to listen to a podcast that's all about John Brayford, make sure you go and check that out. Just search for Sheffield United Way, John Brayford. And also make sure you go and check Sheffield United Way, Greg Halford as well, because he's also an ex Cardiff City player and Blade. And he won promotion with Cardiff City as well, which is always nice under Neil Warnock. I believe Rob Page there as well. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that a few of the Welsh players probably at some point played for Cardiff City or Swansea because we've had a fair few Welsh players in our time, and that's another one there, Rob Page. Let us know, though, in the comments, in the chat, who else you've got. Like Ollie's just put on screen, we've got Rob Page, we've got Simon Moore. We've got quite a few more as well. I found Simon Lappin earlier on, who's one of the worst players I have ever seen in my life. It's French for rabbit as well. I don't know
Nice.
why I had to say that, but I've just said it
Important.
anyway. So let's leave it there. Thank you very much, Ollie, as always. Very excited for tomorrow's game. It's a really early one, which I'm not a big fan of.
No, I don't like an early kickoff. It's too early. I can't. It breaks my routine. You have your regular routine where, you set off a little bit early, you have a couple of drinks in the pub, you get to the match, you've got plenty of time. Whereas tomorrow, we've just not got that time. I don't like
No.
it, but hopefully it won't change anything. And come 3:00, we'll be very ready to have a really nice, relaxing rest of the day on the back of an important 3 points.
And hopefully find a way of watching Rotherham versus Luton. Watch Rotherham spank 3 goals past Luton. That'd be fantastic. And before we go, the last thing that I want to say is Hal will be at this game tomorrow. So if you see Hal, make sure you give him a shout. He loves being recognised by everyone. And as he always says about me, he loves a hug and a kiss. So make sure you give him a lovely old smackaroo on the lips or on the cheek. Up to you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.